Well, Canelo does exactly what I predicted. Payday. You want payday. I know that he is not fighting Jamal Charlo or David Benavidez next, instead moving up to Cruiserweight. Stay tuned to this video and we're going to talk about it. Yo, what up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys throw a like on the video. I appreciate y'all. Listen, throw a like on. Takes a couple seconds. It's free, and it does go a long way to encourage others that the content is fire. You know, I'm working hard for y'all. We're going to close the year strong. Now, you see on the screen, it says, I will pull it up for you, and it's regarding Canelo's next move. Canelo's trainer-manager, Eddie Reynoso, has announced at the WBC convention that Canelo Payday wants to move up to Cruiserweight and challenge the WBC champion Ilunga Makabu, right, in his next fight in May. The WBC have approved this, so Canelo will fight to become a 5-weight division champion. Listen. I told you for all that would listen to me, and I got to be the greatest. I must be the greatest in the world. You know, when it comes to this boxing talk, I shook up the world. I told you after David Benavidez's last performance that I didn't see Canelo chomping at the bit to fight him next. And what Canelo is doing is very apparent at this point to see. Now you guys truly understand why Canelo receives the criticism that he has received regarding. Now, I know there's going to be some that say, hey, are you nuts? He's moving up to Cruiserweight. Listen, moving up in weight, obviously there's a certain level of danger because you're moving up in weight. But beyond that, it's also who you're moving up to fight. And this is very apparent that Canelo Alvarez and his team are strategically moving and weaving to and towards the fights that they believe Canelo's style would fare well with. So at the end of the day, me personally, I'm not impressed. Yeah, he's moving up in weight. That's cool. But it's not anything like the fighters of yesteryear. For example, Evander Holyfield, when he moved up from cruiserweight to heavyweight, he was fighting Buster Douglas, who had just knocked out the great Mike Tyson. There's nobody like me. My style. I'm not a textbook fighter. I fight to win. I fight totally to win, not left, right, jab. I fight to win, totally to win. He had just beat Mike Tyson in Tokyo. That's a difference. Evander Holyfield also fought James Lights Out Tony, legend, one of my favorites. He also fought Lennox Lewis, right? And so on and so forth. So Evander Holyfield was that dude. Even the great, didn't I just say that? This would take some time. You take something from me, I'm coming to get it back. You beat me, I say, okay, we had a good night. I'm still coming to get back. But take it this honestly, I'm coming to get back. Roy Jones Jr., when he moved up to heavyweight, he fought a champion, John Ruiz. And it's just different levels. Canelo is strategically, this is not the best cruiserweight that is around. You got guys like Maris Bradis, who is an exceptional fighter, who just called out Canelo Alvarez, and they actually had flyers and stuff, and they said, oh, Canelo, if he wants to come up to cruiserweight, let's make this fight. Does Canelo want to move up and fight that champion? Absolutely not. He wants to move up and fight M'Baku or whatever dude's name is, like the Black Panther character, M'Baku. He wants to move up and fight him. So to me, it's not even, it's real predictable. That's why I predicted this from Canelo, that he wouldn't fight, especially David Benavidez, right? See, here's what I'm talking about. So BT Sport posted this days ago, and look, they have Bradis right there. They say, who do you want to see Canelo fight? Benavidez, Bradis, or Beterbiev? All these are more difficult fights than the guy he's trying to fight. In fact, some of you guys won't even know the guy's name, but I know who he is. Bro, look at him. Just look at him. He's 34, right? He has 2 losses. Look, he looked like a prominent baby. Megamind, Pinky in the brain looking. Pinky in the brain looking at, bro. Ren and Stimpy, bro. He looked like a prominent baby. He looked like he looking for the Incredible Hulk. Brainiac looking at, bro. This is who Canelo wants to fight. I'm not impressed. I'm not. Look, 2 losses. He been KO'd 2 times. One of them, since I know, listen, the Canelo Chupapi Muñeño, they don't care who Canelo fights. They just see him moving up and they're like, oh, yes, it's the best thing ever. But at the end of the day, I mean, we know the games. This is why guys like myself, legends like me, and legends like Juan Manuel Marquez, Leyenda, have given Canelo criticism because we know this is not the best cruiserweight. And, you know, Canelo's, like I said, a vulture, opportunist, and he wants the accolades and the history books to say, oh, he's a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weight division champion. I mean, at this rate, Canelo Alvarez can become, you know, he can tie Manny Pacquiao because how he's moving. Even the great Manny Pacquiao, I want to, it's up to my promoter. He didn't do it like this. Manny Pacquiao went through certified weight classes. He started off at noodle weight or sperm weight, whatever, and he moved all the way up and he fought credible. He fought Marco Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales and David Diaz's and Ricky Hatton's and Antonio Margarito, who was a difficult fighter, very tough. Floyd Mayweather, of course, Oscar De La Hoya. You know, it's just different. And I see what they're doing. They want Canelo to be like Oscar De La Hoya, but Oscar De La Hoya fought everybody. Say what you want about him, his resume is impeccable. This man, his resume is impeccable. I'm not really impressed by this. Again, he looked like an angry baby looking at, bro. Bebe's kids. Like, he's 34. He got 2 losses, been stopped, got stopped. All of his stop. He got stopped in his first fight. Look, his pro debut, he got stopped in 1 round. So he turned pro. He probably learned on the job. He looked like he was in South Africa. And this dude, bro, whoever this dude is, Africa. This dude in 2008 in his pro debut stopped him in 1 round. And I know the fight that he's more famous for is the Tony Bellew, and Bellew stopped him in like 3 rounds. Whereas there, 2016, he fought Bellew, and I think he hurt Bellew to his credit. But look, 199. Look, he 199 or whatever weight, right? And he got stopped by Tony Bellew. See, some of y'all, again, y'all just giving Canelo credit because you want to give Canelo credit. Look, stopped him in 3. Boom. I'm Boxing's encyclopedia. So that was way back when he fought Tony Bellew 5 years ago. 7 years ago, you know, whatever. And look, he fought gonorrhea. He ain't fought nobody since then. Look, so I don't know how, bro, everything I said was true. The WBC, we back Canelo. Bro, that's what the WBC stands for. We back Canelo. David Benavidez called this out. They're willing to do anything that Canelo wants. And they want Canelo in the history books. He's earning money. He's, you know, and they want his record to show like Floyd Mayweather, and they want him to be like the Mexican Mayweather. They want him to be like De La Hoya and Manny Pacquiao, but they're going about it in such a flagrant way. Like, the whole world is asking for you and begging you to fight David Benavidez. In fact, roll the clip.
Now you put on this performance. Where do you think you are, and what are you looking at?
I mean, I think it's an easy question. I think everybody wants to see me against Canelo, right? So,
and you can't get into Canelo's mind, but what do you think his assessment would be after seeing you fight tonight?
I don't know. I don't really care what his assessment is, but you know, they keep putting these contenders in front of me. You know, my last fight was a WBC title eliminator. That's why I'm here holding my belts. You know, they need to give me the opportunity.
They need to give me the opportunity. As soon as he said, I think the whole world wants me to fight Canelo, everybody, there was an uproar in the crowd and you heard a cheer. Everyone's like, yeah. But who is Canelo fight instead? not David Benavidez, not even Jamal Charlo, which is another great fight, right? He wants to move up to fight, the angry baby or whatever. The baby, man, whatever. I mean, this is what they want for Canelo. So it's the same pattern. I've proven it multiple times. This is why he receives the criticism that he gets from Juan Manuel Marquez and Mexican legends like Nacho Beristain, etc. Because we see the game that Canelo is playing. He's moving up and teeter-tottering and like tippy-toeing around what fights he wants. And he's like, hey, I earned it. I'm popular. I'm the A side. I could do what I want, And ironically enough, a lot of the racist Canelo fans, right? Canelo has some racist fans, and a lot of them are Latino, right? And the ones that are racist and Latino, some of them hated Floyd Mayweather. And they said because he's a cherry picker and he's like waiting for people to get out of prime and stuff like that. And it's funny to see that some of these same fans won't say nothing to Canelo Alvarez, and he's clearly not fighting the adequate names. And it's just like, you just did something cool, even though it was still a bit questionable because who you had to go through to become undisputed, and the WBC added the belt. For example, if the WBC did not add the vacant belt because David Benavidez lost it on the scale, then Canelo would most likely had to have went through David Benavidez, because the WBC should have ordered Caleb Smith and David Benavidez, which I would pick Benavidez to win, or at least Avni Yildirim versus Benavidez, and he would have slaughtered him. And then Canelo, his road to undisputed, would have included David Benavidez. But now he gets to continue waiting for David Benavidez to look vulnerable or lose to somebody else, or, whatever the case, and then cherry pick and go to whatever division he wants. This is very similar to what he did versus Sergey Kovalev. Kovalev is a name. It was a new division. He's not at the point when he fought Kovalev that November. He was not the best light heavyweight. But Canelo fought him because he was an aged, shop-worn Kovalev who had been stopped by Andre Ward, been stopped by Leader Alvarez, and almost got stopped by a newcomer, Anthony Yard, right? When he could have fought Dmitry Bivol, who is undefeated at least, or he could have fought Artur Beterbiev, which is a fight that I wanted to see, you know what I mean? And this is what Canelo's doing. So he will fight an undefeated fighter, especially if they're white, like Caucasian, like Caleb Smith or Caleb Plant. But when it comes to in prime, right, in prime black or Mexican fighters, you don't always see Canelo trying to take those O's from those people. And these are the names that have been associated with him the longest. Demetrius Andrade, right? Jamal Charlo, David Benavidez. Or if you're going to fight, let's say, a Caucasian fighter with lower melanin, why not fight Artur Beterbiev or Dmitry Bivol? Because they look complex. Instead, you'll go up to fight you'll fight a black fighter at cruiserweight, and he's clearly not the best cruiserweight, right? If you're going to fight a black cruiserweight, what about Lawrence Okoli? He's nice. You know what I mean? Maris Bradis, as I mentioned. So, we see this is what they're trying to do, and they want Canelo to be a superstar, so they're trying to maintain it any way possible. But it's the Mario Brothers 3 warp whistle. Do-do-do-do-do. And you're just going through the motions and the levels. So, yeah, if he beats this M'Baku dude, he'll be a 5-division champion. But what does it really mean, especially when we know that M'Baku dude isn't the best? Like, now, if he would have did this when Usyk was at cruiserweight, then that would have been something. Can you imagine Canelo versus Usyk at cruiserweight? Because we know Usyk gets busy. Shout out to the Ukraine. They come to bring the pain. Ukraine boxing school is, Klitschko's and Lomachenko's and Victor Postol's and Usyk's. It's different. But Canelo doesn't move up for guys that look very hard to beat or dominant like Usyk, guys like Okoli, who's been looking good, Maris Bradis, Artur Beterbiev at lightweight, Dmitry Bivol. And it's funny because Canelo fans, the Chupapi Muñeños, they say, oh, Charlo will get whooped. Okay, wouldn't the Charlo fight be bigger? Then why don't you just whoop Charlo? Make him move up in weight. It's a bigger fight. This fight, it'll be 5 divisions. I get it. But it's not going to have the same type of buzz as even the Caleb Plant fight, or most definitely if he were to fight Demetrius Andrade, or bigger fights like David Benavidez, right? Or Jermall Charlo. And this is what Canelo continues to do. So we see it. And this is why Marquez says he will not be revered as like some of the Mexican legends of the past, because they weren't simply doing this, you know? So it'll be cool for Canelo. He's racking up a bunch of stats, and you got to look at the facts behind them. You know, it's like when you're dealing with Canelo, it's strategic. It's like strategic cherry picking. So it's you have to pay attention. You have to know the history. You know, that's all I got to say. I'll make some more videos about it. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Canelo moving up to cruiserweight. Am I underrating it? Do you think this is some great, big, grandiose fight? Let me know in the comment section. Subscribe. And I'm out. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster.